Hey everybody, welcome back to Feedback Loop. I'm Joey,
And I'm Jeremy.
and you guys don't know it, but it's been a while for us, and now we're back. So also one thing I wanted to point out, we're not recording using our normal recording software.
That's
We are
true.
recording over Discord, so it's a little bit different. Sorry if I seem distracted. I'm sure Jeremy's going to be just as professional as ever, but I may be distracted because
No.
I can see more of my face now because to make it more like a conversation, we record ourselves so we can see each other. But
Right.
my face is much bigger now than it used to be, so I have to look at my ugly mug for
I mean, you can
more.
click it to where it shows both of us equally. Um,
Well, on our other thing, mine was not equal. You were
right.
giant, and I
Yeah.
was like
Sure. Sure. Anyways, yeah. I feel like we've started off the past like 3 episodes saying like it's been a while.
should restart. And
No.
I just won't say that.
No. No.
Okay.
No. No. It's in there. We're doing it live. You know.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. So what are we
Exactly.
talking about today? We
Man.
have we have some stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess other than the fact that it's been a while, hopefully we're gonna get back into a cadence of some sort, so that we can start cranking these out. I did finally catch up on the uploads. But yeah, since our last discussion, we have both been to some concerts. So I think
Some better than others. I mean, that's fun. That's
Oh,
unfair. I'm just jealous of the concert you went
damn.
to. So
Okay. Yeah. So I've seen 2 concerts. I've been to 2 concerts since, and Joey has been to a concert recently. Joey's was more recent than mine.
yeah,
But yeah, I went and saw Pile in Seattle, and it was phenomenal.
so fucking jealous, dude. Oh my god.
It was a lot better than I expected it to be, and I expected it to be good. But yeah, that was a fun experience. I feel bad because I got to see Pile before you, and you are the one that introduced me to Pile, and you are admittedly a bigger Pile fan than I am. So there's a little guilt there, but I bought you a shirt to make up for it.
Thank you. I would say don't feel guilty. If anything, I feel vindicated knowing that they put on such a good show for you. Like it's
Yeah,
just awesome.
and I got to
And
experience it because of you.
exactly. It's all my doing. I'm this great music recommender person. Um and besides, I watched they sent out in their Pile newsletter like it was like a video that somebody took of one of the shows on their tour somewhere in California. So I
Nice.
watched that, and it was almost like I got to experience the concert.
Yeah, I mean it's the energy. Like, I mean, I guess it's the same with a lot of like bands, right? The energy level of seeing them live is just like intoxicating in a very like specific
Mhm.
way. I guess
Yeah.
that sticks with you, and like I don't know, it dragged me into the Pile hole for like a week, and I was listening to nothing but Pile. You know?
Hell yeah. It's a good hole to be in. It's hard to get out sometimes,
Yeah,
but
but eventually it washed off. And then I saw Baby Clock, which is Death Clock and Baby Metal. I actually didn't stay for all of Baby Metal's performance because Death Clock went first, and I was there for Death Clock more so. I've seen Baby Metal; they're great. We've talked about them on the show. Um, but yeah, seeing Death Clock live was surreal in a different way.
ooh,
Of like, it seemed, like a year or two ago, like there would never be another opportunity to see Death Clock live, and then Adult Swim finally let Brendan tour for Death Album 4, which he created for, I guess for the band, but also like the movie that came out, the Doomstar something.
Army of the
Not Requiem,
Doomstar
Army
was
of the
it?
Doomstar. That
Yeah.
sounds right. Um, but yeah, that was another show that I think was better than expected, and I expected it to be good, just because it was like it was very professionally done. In that, like, I mean, you're there for Death Clock as a cartoon band, right? So there were no lights on anybody playing instruments. They were all on the stage and we could see them, but the focus wasn't on them. The focus was on the video screen that was playing, the music videos or animations and stuff. Facebones would talk between some of
Oh,
the
fuck
things
yeah.
they'd bring out face bones, and he got too high, and that was a lot of fun. And then like Brendan would do some of the voices to talk to us as the audience. But I think the highlight of that show was Brendan had I'm horrible at I feel bad that I don't know the names of anybody other than Brendan and Gene Hoglan on drums. But there was another guitarist and then a bassist there, and the guitarist was female, and she fucking kicked ass, and it was so fucking cool because they did the duel from Doomstar Requiem, which is like the guitar battle between Skwisgaar and Toki, and so
Yeah.
it was just fun to like have them up there playing through that kind of guitar battle and watching the thing. And it was just like they both did a great job, and it was a very entertaining show.
Man, you got to see two of what I would consider like bucket list
Yeah,
shows
for sure.
within like 2 months of each other, and that's huge. Because
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, like you said, up until recently, the thought of getting another new Death album, getting more video content in any sort of Death Clock sphere
Right.
it was like a dead dream. It was like holding on to the hope that System of a Down is going to release another album
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something. Like it's just you're just like it's not. I mean, like it was a nice hope for the first 5 years or
Right.
whatever, but now
At
it's
some point,
it's
you have to
just,
stop holding your breath. You got to take a gasp of air, you know?
And then it happened, and it was good. Is the thing
Yeah.
like it was like nothing ever changed, which
Yeah.
is unheard of.
For sure. Did you get a chance to watch the movie yet?
I have not been able to see it yet. I don't. It's not on because I have HBO Max, which is I've been rewatching.
It should be on there.
Is it? Maybe I just haven't like searched specifically for it, so I didn't see it. But I typed in Metalocalypse, it didn't come. So
Interesting.
I didn't know if it was just. But I haven't made it through my rewatch of the show, and I wanted to
Yeah.
watch the whole show.
That's fair.
I'm halfway through season 4 now, so
you're almost there.
I'm almost there, which I'm happy about because, God, it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. The later seasons are just like the first 2 seasons I feel like are just like funny. It's what I remember. It's great. It's like just fucking off the wall. And then once the story starts kicking in, it's okay. This is a good show,
Right.
Which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a transition, to season 3 and season 4, especially season 4. It's very like we have a story to tell and we have to get through it in like 10 episodes or whatever, 10 like 15-minute episodes kind of
Yeah,
thing.
they went back to the 15 minutes, and I just got through earlier tonight because I watched like 6 episodes. I got through the episode where, spoilers, Nathan drinks the tequila,
Yeah.
and all the shit's going down, and he fucking breaks the liquid master, and I was just like,
That is such a like good moment. That
is
episode is so
huge.
good. Yeah. And like
'Cause it's like
gosh,
he
the
gets it.
coloring I don't know
Oh.
what they did. The coloring in season 4 and specifically that episode is just so fucking good. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, and I mean Nathan, he's talking about because he's looking at the album cover, and he's like, what, like talking about the
It's too pink. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
too
pink tomato soup.
And oh god, it's just that scene where Pickles is trying to hold back the axe is just like oof.
Yeah.
This is a good.
There's tension.
This is good animation right here.
Right.
But yeah, that's fucking awesome. You got to see Death Clock and Pile. That's huge.
Hell yeah. Sorry, not to keep bragging.
Oh, you're good.
I was
Brag
we
away.
had a team, like a wider team meeting this week at work. And there were like 200 something people on the meeting because it's like the whole department kind of a thing. So my boss's boss's boss was the one that was like presenting, and he was wearing a Baby Metal shirt from the Baby Clock show in Seattle.
What?
And someone commented on it. I wasn't gonna say anything. Someone commented on it. They're like, "Hey, what's on your shirt?" And he showed it off, and he was like, well, "I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm not gonna tell you who it is because like I'm a little bit embarrassed of who I went to see." And I outed his ass. I was like,
Hell yeah.
I went to that show. I saw Death Clock and Baby Metal, and it was a great time.
Well, maybe
so that was
maybe
fun.
you got a promotion coming.
Or I'm gonna get fired. One of the
Oh
two.
yeah. He's like, no, I really didn't want anybody to know. Now I look like I'm the fool,
Yeah.
and I've lost all my credibility. Jeremy, you're fired.
Yeah. It's a fun fun little serendipitous moment knowing that me and someone that is much higher in the corporation were at the same concert.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to get that a lot because I would go with my dad to like classic rock shows with all of his
Right.
friends, and they're like spending fucking $1,000 on a bottle of wine, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't belong here.
Yeah.
I just showed up to see the Tedeschi Trucks Band or
Sure.
Joe Bonamassa or see Rush for the 5th time.
Yeah. That's awesome. But you didn't see Rush recently. Who did you see?
No. Okay, so I saw somebody that I was very excited to see. The Tallest Man on Earth. We talked about his album Shallow Grave. I think it was like episode 8. It was
Early.
before episode 10. It was really early. And he is a singer-songwriter, folk, I guess,
He's
instrumentalist.
Swedish, right?
He is Swedish, yes. Which is kind of nuts because he plays like a typically American, I guess, style
Yeah,
of
he's
music.
got that folky kind of.
Yeah, he's
vibe.
kind of got the twang, the folky, especially a lot of his earlier stuff. With recent albums, he's kind of integrated more other like instrumentation and I don't know, a lot of different sounds that he didn't used to have. But early stuff was just like guy with a guitar or a banjo or some sort of stringed instrument that he could play, and just very troubadour. And while it took a while for me to kind of come around to his newer sound, I do really like it now. But the shift in tone from his earlier stuff that I had started listening to kind of what he's got now, it was a hard pill for me to swallow, which is something that I loved about this concert. So
Right.
he has a new album, Henry Street, that came out recently, not like
This year, right?
this year. It's been a couple of months, but so there was a lot of new sounds on that, and I really liked it. But he came out playing a mandolin, and he played an old standard of his, which I think it was "I Won't Be Found" is what he played on the mandolin. But like the way he came out, this dude is a fucking showman like I've never seen before. And he came out and I mean, his name's the tallest man on earth, and I got asked this so many times just by like security guards. It's like, oh, is he really tall? Whenever I said who we were going to
Right.
see, and it's like he's probably like 5'6" or something. He's
That's like my
not.
height. That's short.
He's yeah, like he's not a tall dude. He's probably around average-ish height,
Right.
but he has such a big presence. He came out in these like just like some black pants, a black tank top, and like these little like they looked like elf shoes or something. They were just like these brown leather like tappy shoes, and he just comes like he's playing and he's like dancing around doing like this Angus Young kick where he's
Yeah,
like jumping
yeah,
and
yeah.
kicking his feet, and he is just like playing everything like he was born to play it, which is something that I love, where it was like every song he played, he made it such a unique experience, where it's like, I don't know, I've been to plenty of concerts where it's like they add their little flares to it and all this, but really you're getting kind of what you hear on the album, which he just did not do. It was
Right.
like he had new melodies, he had new like arrangements of all of his songs. I'd say about half of the songs it was just him, and then the other half there was a drummer, somebody who played bass and violin, and somebody who played like keyboard.
Right.
But it was like he played a bunch of songs that were new by himself that would have normally had like violins and drums and stuff, but he was playing it on just like a steel top guitar or a banjo or whatever. And then he would have old songs that would have just been him and his guitar played with like the backing people.
Right.
And it was such a cool experience. He put it on. It was almost like a play. Like he was just so into it. You can tell he just fucking loves playing music, and it was just like what he was there for. He was talking with us. We had a conversation going because it was really small. There was
Sure.
we were
I mean,
the
the Mercury
second-
Ballroom's not a small venue.
Yeah, it's like it could have probably fit, I'd say like comfortably 500 people because there's a top layer and everything.
Right.
but there was maybe like 100 people there, I'd say. We were like the second people to show up.
Right.
And we were sitting there for like an hour before it, and it's like, is anybody else gonna be here, or is it just gonna be us?
Yeah.
And Alyssa was pulling up her phone like, I gotta figure out what songs I want to request if nobody else shows up and it's just us. Be like, can you just play this song? I'm glad people showed up for his sake and for the fact that
Right.
it became a really cool. It having more people there made it a cooler experience.
Yeah,
in
I
the
mean,
grand scheme of things.
that's what concerts are about, right? It's that kind of, maybe not a literal conversation, but you're feeding off of each other's energy, right? The performers
Yeah.
are feeling the energy of the crowd's feeling the energy of the performers. It's a very mutual exchange. So it's nice that it seems like he was having a great time and breathing a new life into like old standards and making everyone happy and happy to be there, right?
Yeah, and man, he was like the most appreciative artist I think I've ever seen in a concert.
Yeah.
Just like the whole thing was about how, because he was kind of like locked out of America during COVID, because
Right.
he went back home to Sweden early on, like very early in COVID. I think he was still living in New York, because I remember watching like live streams of him out of his apartment where he was like taking song requests, and the first chance he got, he went back home and then just was not allowed back in the country for
Right.
like 2 years. So he hasn't been able to play shows, hasn't been able to tour, and I think this is his first like real tour back in America. It said he was his first time back in Louisville in like 7 years, I think.
Sure.
And he just was like, the whole time he was just like, it feels so good. This is what I live for. Like, thank you all for coming out. Like, which I know everybody says, but it
Yeah.
was like you could see it on his face that he was just like having a fucking blast.
Yeah.
And
I honestly, I
was-
felt that way about the Death Clock show too. Like Brendan felt so sincerely like appreciative that
yeah,
he literally like said that he was like in awe of how many people were still interested in Death Clock. Like he thought that because Adult Swim had shut him down for so long that like people would have moved on, right? And so like him being really appreciative of like the fan base. I would argue that more people were there to see Death Clock than to see Baby Metal. So I think that was very like it had to have been an awesome experience for him to like have those kind of moments of like, damn, there's a lot of people that still like really fuck with what I do.
hell yeah. And it's like, that's the thing. He made it. It's an entirely, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that worked on Metalocalypse, but like
Right.
it's Brendan Small's vision, it's his music,
Yep.
and that's what everybody loved, and it's fucking awesome that he got to go out and see that. Like
Right.
like
Yeah.
you said, like after so long, of course we're still here. But to him, he's in the endless content cycle that is
Yeah, the entertainment
like
industry.
yeah, like people are still fucking like, yeah, Death Clock is fucking sick and I want to see more of it, and he gets to experience that. I'm glad he got to come back. That's fucking huge.
Yeah, I did not mean as to pivot back to my wonderful experience of
Oh no,
seeing
dude.
Death Clock
It's
live.
so many wonderful experiences. The
Yeah,
more
concerts are just
wonderful
good.
experience-
Everyone should go to
Yeah.
concerts. Go support artists that you love. You won't be disappointed unless maybe it's a big arena show and you get really shitty
Yeah.
seats in the back. But yeah, go to concerts, people. It's good fun. Unless you have like crippling social anxiety, I would suggest going to concerts.
Even if you do, maybe try to find some smaller concerts or something.
True.
Like I
Yeah.
got to see the Tossers, who are an Irish punk band from Chicago. To see them in like a pub where there was like 20 people, and it was like, it looked like it could have easily just been the
local
regular
band.
crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and it was so cool. And if you find shows like that, you really don't have to interact with anybody. I mean,
true.
we did like some sort of Irish jig because that's the type of people that we are, I guess. But you could have easily just sat at the bar and heard some good music.
Right.
So if you have crippling social anxiety, maybe do some of that to get out of your shell. Find a band that you can tolerate. Go find a small show and hang out in
True.
the corner. Be a wallflower. That's fine.
True. That's a double win because a lot of times you have to find those smaller bands, right? Those people that aren't selling out arenas, the people that aren't hitting up the bigger, like close, big like city, I guess things. Go support a local musician. You know, if
Yeah.
there's a local artist, put on a concert, go. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah. I love seeing live music, just even if they're shitty, even if I wouldn't listen to them.
Sure.
Like, it's why I like karaoke. I like seeing people
Yeah.
just be able to do their thing. And it's like, I don't care if you have a conventionally great singing voice. If you're up there and you're fucking giving it your all and you're just like having a good time, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
it's way better than watching some theater kid who's practice. Not no offense to theater kids. I was quote unquote in theater. I was behind the scenes.
Sure.
But like somebody with a perfect voice who rehearses and does all this stuff, like that's cool to see. But like there's nothing better than seeing somebody who's a little bit off key just like fucking
Yeah.
belting.
Because it's like it's inspiring in a way to like not I don't want to say to like see someone perform poorly, but like someone with so much confidence, right? That doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily like that is being empowered by music, I guess is really what it comes down to, is that they feel safe and comfortable singing a song that they love in front of, however many people, tens of people that are in that bar or whatever.
Hell yeah.
And it's just a fun communal experience. Go
So
to karaoke nights.
Yeah, go to karaoke, go to local shows, and you don't even have to sing at karaoke the first few times. Eventually, you'll want to sing, but
Yeah.
you don't have to.
Yeah, just go
So.
go support people. Be kind to musicians and singers and people. Just people. Just be
Yeah.
nice to people.
It's literally so fucking easy to not be an asshole. So
It's true.
I mean, it's unfortunately also kind of easy to be an asshole, but
Yeah, it's arguably easier to be an asshole, but
it's
that's
also
that's a
not that
societal
hard.
like
yeah,
thing. I guess we have learned to be hateful and divisive and stuff, and that's the gut instinct a lot of times, I think. But yeah, we're coming up on time, so
Oh my
moving
God.
things along. I got some recs, some
Do it.
music that I've been listening to that you haven't listened to, that I want to
You don't know
recommend to you. I assume the new Crosses album came out on
Okay.
Friday, which is Chino Moreno's side project, not Team Sleep, but Crosses is more of like a synthy electro kind of thing. Their new album dropped on Friday, and it is good.
Hell yeah.
It is real good. I think you Joey should listen to this album. I think you'll have a great time with it. It's just like, it's just good.
Well, I mean so I haven't heard it. I have heard some Crosses music that I liked. It kind of fits in with what I've been listening to
Cool.
recently.
What have you been listening
as
to?
well.
Hit me with a
Well,
rec.
so the album's called After Angel. It's by Death's Dynamic Shroud, who I feel like I've brought up at
Yeah.
least to you, if not on the podcast.
I think Dark Life, is that a thing?
Yeah, I think that might
that
have
them?
been one of my. Yeah,
Okay.
I think their 2015 album, maybe 2017. I don't know. I feel like I recommended. Oh, that was 2022. What am I? Oh, I was thinking of I'll Try Living Like This. Yeah, 2022 Dark Life. That might have been one of my picks for last year's top albums or something.
Maybe
or
so. Maybe so.
That sounds right. But yeah, they had an album this year, June 30th came out, and it was really really fucking good.
Hell yeah.
So it's synthy.
Yeah.
It's electronic.
It is a similar vibe, I think. Especially like this Crosses album. I don't want to like spoil it, but there's a lot of like 80s synthwave and like dark synth
Okay.
kind of sounds to it. And
Well-
it's just it's chef's kiss. Like because
course,
it blends that with like a very modern sensibility and a very like Chino style, and it feels perfect.
I mean, and Chino's just got the fucking style. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he can do no wrong.
For sure.
I don't know him personally,
Right.
But like, I
Musically.
feel like, Yeah, I feel like I've never heard anything that he's been a part of that I didn't like.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Good shit. Piggybacking off of something that this is not necessarily a rec, but you mentioned that the Death Dynamic Shroud album came out a while ago, and you've been listening to it recently. I recently found out Buried Alive released an album this year, back in August, I think it was, so not that long ago, but still, it slipped past my radar. It's okay. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd recommend it over their 2022 album. I've been listening. It's so weird because I was listening to their 2022 album a whole lot in the last like month or 2 months, and then I just like last week found out that they released an album, so I was like, I'll give that a shot. But yeah, so I'd recommend their previous album, but that was a fun discovery. Something my next rec, my actual next rec, is a band called Slothrust, which
Oh my god.
I don't think they're a new quote unquote band. They've been putting
They're
out
not.
music since it looks like 2014, but they just released a new EP, and they have a cover of Genuine's Pony on it, and it's so good. They're kind of like an indie rock thing, but it's kind of a bit heavier, and it's a bit more like, I don't know, it's a bit more interesting to me, I think, than a
Yeah.
lot of like indie rock. They bring something fresh and fun to the table. That's just fun.
Slothrust.
Rust.
That gets a double fucking wreck for me. Alyssa loves Slothrust.
Oh, hell
And
yeah.
which it's nut. So Slothrust, I feel like I've talked about the band Radiator Hospital before
Maybe.
on here. Maybe. But so Alyssa really likes Slothrust. She really liked their song Cut Your Bangs. I mean, she likes a lot of their other songs, so we listened to them. But she thought that was an original song by them, and then just randomly in my Spotify recommendations a couple of years ago or whatever, I saw Cut Your Bangs, and I was like, wait a second, is this a cover of a Slothrust song? But
Right.
it turns out Slothrust covered Cut Your Bangs from Radiator Hospital, and that's how I found out about Radiator Hospital, and I really like Radiator Hospital.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Double
it's-
wreck.
Yeah. Slothrust is really fucking good, though. I have not heard their new EP, and the fact that they have a cover of Pony is
It's so good.
amazing.
It is so good. It didn't like dawn on me that it was a cover of Genuine's Pony until like the chorus, and I was just like, because I just put it on, I was just listening to it, I wasn't paying attention. It's like, yeah, this is cool, and I was like, wait a minute, I know these words. Cool EP.
Shit.
Check that shit out. Do you have any other recs?
I don't think I do. I'm gonna be completely honest. A lot of what has been on my Spotify is Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Because my daughter fucking loves Taylor Swift.
Sure.
So-
What girl in their right mind wouldn't?
Yeah. So like every night while she's like getting ready for bed or whatever, I have to give my phone up and go put on the This Is Taylor Swift playlist
Sure.
and just
To
leave it in
ease
the other room.
things. Well, hell
No
yeah.
hate to Taylor Swift.
Oh, not at all. Not at
Yeah.
all. We're both at least some level of fan of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Um,
She's fine.
we respect her at the very least. I do have
Yeah.
one final rec, and
Do it.
I think that this is another album that I think flew under my radar that came out earlier this year, but it's a band called Splutter.
Splutter.
Splutter. And this band, I believe the singer is the nephew of Corey Taylor.
Just looking at them, I would believe that.
yeah. There's some relation to the band and Corey Taylor, which I openly shit on Corey Taylor all the time nowadays. But
CMFT.
CMFT, but Splutter is really good. That album is really good. I think the songs that I had previously heard from that band, I think last year or the year before or something, were very like early Slipknot stuff, which I'm like, hell yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love that sound. But yeah, they released a new music video, I think today actually, either today or yesterday. And then I watched the music video and was like, oh, that's a cool song. I'm gonna see when their album comes out. Oh shit, the album's been out. But the new video is for a song called Paint Red, and it has a very like loathe, Deftones-y kind of like vibe to it. while
Ooh.
still kind of like hitting some of those really harsh and heavy like old Slipknot kind of aggression levels. So very cool album. Highly recommend checking out. The album's called From Where We Are, The Starting Point of Sound, which is maybe a little pretentious, but you know, it's a cool album cover. You know, great music, good vibes. It's something fun and new that I think, in a way similar to, I guess, the new Crosses album, where it's taking a lot of classical like elements, not like classical music elements, but classic like 80s like synth wave stuff and modernizing it. It feels like this is kind of taking some like, you know, early 2000s new metal stuff and modernizing that a little bit.
Good. It needed it.
Yeah, I agree.
Going back to fucking early 2000s new metal is like sticking an ice pick in my brain.
Yeah.
And I say that as somebody who was totally into that shit.
Yeah.
Still
who doesn't
kind of
love
is.
Korn, you know? Korn's
yeah.
just good sometimes.
Yeah. Especially that album they did with Skrillex.
That's a hot take, but I don't disagree.
That was where the downfall happened, I think, for Korn.
Sure.
After that album.
Sure. I think that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and they never fully recovered from it. Anyways,
Jonathan Davis, if you're out there, I like that album.
Yeah, go check out Jonathan Davis' solo album, too. He released a solo album at some point, I think like 2016. Hopefully he doesn't have a newer one, or I'm going to sound like an asshole. But I don't know. Check out those albums. Drop some comments with your recs, what you've been listening to. I'm hesitant to say that we will respond in a timely manner, because
we have our notifications turned on now. That's
we believe we have resolved the notification issue. I realized while uploading the backlog of episodes that I hadn't, that we had a comment that was a year old that neither of us knew about or responded to.
And it sucks because it was something that I like care about.
Right.
And it was about Pat the Bunny playing live shows, which, commenter out there, I'm gonna find the video of one of his more recent shows, and I will plug that.
Yeah. Just reply to a year-old comment.
Yeah.
With another link, you know.
He's gonna get a notification on his phone or some shit and be like, who the fuck's this guy?
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, feel free to drop Rex. We'll try to respond. We'll try to listen. We like listening to shit. Thank you. I guess taking a note from the tallest man on earth and Brennan Small. Thank you for listening wherever you are. If you enjoy the show, that's a bonus for us. Really, we're not making the show for you, but I'm glad that you enjoy it.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, stay in our feedback loop.
Bye.